Well, Coach, a little different position for you today, kind of taking on a little bit of everything. What was it like out there, and what's the last 24 hours been like for you, just trying to keep everything normal, I guess, for the team, things like that, and what was the game like tonight?
Sure. Well, once the game started, it was great. You know, the last 24 hours obviously have been a whirlwind and very emotional for our guys. And, you know, but with that being said, it just was back to business when the game started. So that piece of it was nice. I know everyone was looking forward to it, and it was just really nice to be back on the field.
Steve?
Along those lines, what was kind of your first message to the team, and as they went out there today, just kind of getting back to normal? How did you make it more normal for them?
Sure. Well, they all showed up today. That's what I told them. I mean, that's what life is going to be like for the rest of their lives. I mean, there's going to be hard days. You're going to be tired. You're going to be beat up. You're going to hate your job. You're going to love your job. Whatever it is, you have to show up. And that's what it's about. And getting back to work and getting refocused and recommitted. And you know, they weren't going to cancel any games. They weren't going to cancel the rest of the season. Our mission is still ahead of us, and we have full control of our destiny. And that was our message to the guys today.
Doug?
Coach, I'm not going to ask you about your undefeated record so far, but it's been a week of change. Can you kind of take us through maybe how you guys have mixed your responsibilities around to handle that?
Well, it's been about 30 hours of change, and really we haven't done a whole lot different. A few minor things. We added Bobby Austin to our coaching responsibility list. He coached first base tonight. Maybe you saw that. But really, other than that, it's kind of status quo for the most part. We have good players. We have good coaches. Their vision is good. Their message has been good. I felt like consistency in that regard, just from what we're doing preparation-wise, I felt like that was important. And you know, I think the guys kind of got a breath of fresh air tonight and went out and played really free and easy and played really well.
Sam?
Just with the struggles that the team has had since start conference play, so what do you think is kind of missing, or what do you think will be key to kind of finish the season on a strong note?
You know, I think confidence is very important, and preparation leads to confidence, and confidence leads to success, and success leads to more confidence, and I think that's cyclical. And I think playing like we did tonight is a good first step in the right direction with that.
Dan?
Obviously, you're going to be a little bit short-staffed the rest of the way. So, how do you personally balance maintaining your duties as pitching coach with also just being the manager and overseeing sort of the whole operation with the position player group?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure yet. You know, tonight was a little bit of a trial run. I spent as much time as I could pregame with you know, of course, today was Pico's bullpen day. You know, I had a message for the team. I will be more involved in just hanging out with the other group, with the position player group. But you know, I plan on splitting a little bit more and using the resources a little bit more, where normally I'm you know, very locked in on the pitching only. So kind of a work in progress.
Steve?
This game was a 5-3 game at Memphis, and it was kind of herky-jerky, but tonight there was really no doubt who was going to win this ball game. It seemed like the team really came out focused and was very intentional. Had Sawyer and Hunter Hines both going the other way.
Yeah.
What do you kind of attribute that to, and maybe the big start to tonight?
Well, I mean, I think you're crazy, you know, if you're one of those players and you're sitting here through what's happened to them, and you don't sit up a little straighter and you don't stiffen your spine a little bit, and you know, I think, you know, everyone here was on full attention, and you know, I think we did a great job in the first of kind of taking the edge off by scoring 3 runs with 2 outs, and I think everyone settled in, breathed, and played good baseball from there.
Robbie?
You look at this weekend, obviously big crowds probably expected, big weekend too. The margin's relatively thin, but you still have a chance to do some big things the rest of the season. I mean, what's the message to the team coming into this weekend against Kentucky?
We just got to play good baseball. I mean, the bottom line is we're in the position that we're in because of a lot of what we've done. We got to play good baseball on all 3 phases. We got to pitch, throw strikes. We got to defend at a high level. We got to play smart. We got to hit and do all those things at the same time. You know, really. So tonight was a good step in the right direction.
Sam?
I know it's only been 30 hours or so, but have you given any thought into whether or not you'd want to be considered for the full-time head coach job?
I mean, it's obviously a destination job here. I mean, this is the best ballpark, the best fan base in college baseball. So while my thoughts have mostly been on our guys and our families, you know, it certainly is quite the honor and quite the opportunity.
Steve?
Along those lines too, like kind of when did you know? What was those conversations like with Zach Selman about it? You're going to be the interim coach, and what were the expectations maybe he conveyed to you?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, just after lunch, right before we had a short workout, he communicated the vision moving forward, and you know, like I said before to our players, it was time for me to go to work today. That's what he called on us to do yesterday, and that's what we did today. So that's pretty much how it happened.
Got time for a couple more? Robbie?
Looking at Kentucky, what's kind of your impressions on what they bring offensively, their pitching staff, things like that? I mean, what's really impressed you about them?
Well, I haven't dug into them a ton this year other than watching in passing. We didn't play them last year, but just in passing, you know they're going to play high tempo. You know they're going to run. You know they're going to do the short game. They're going to exploit a lot of your weaknesses defensively. I haven't dug into the lineup yet or anything. They always throw strikes. Their pitching coach is a friend of mine, and I highly respect him and what he does. And we're going to have our hands full. We're going to have to play good baseball. You know, it's going to be a more taxing weekend from a tactical standpoint. We're going to have to really defend the short game. I think we'll spend a lot of time the rest of this week working on short game and run game and make sure we're buttoned up there. But it's a little bit unique from an SEC style standpoint.
We'll take two more questions, Danny B, and wrap it up with Steve.
Coach, when you were working with the pitchers, I was curious about Evan Sierra's development and how much since you put him in the starting rotation, just how much it's improved. Obviously, he got his first win over the weekend.
Well, you know, the thing that he's been for us since he's been here is just super stable. You know, he's a competitor, he's a strike thrower, and he's very reliable. But you know, this year he's added a slower curveball to the mix, and I think it's changed things for him as far as layering pitches and pitch planning, and you know, he's had a lot of success with that. So he's grown tremendously. I think he's building confidence every week to go out against the offenses that he's going against, and having the success that he is. And but I think a lot of it is just in his arsenal growth and how many more ways he has to attack hitters.
Steve?
You mentioned showing up, going to work every day. You got first game of an 8-game homestand tonight. What do you need from this Mississippi State fan base to kind of help propel you guys potentially into the postseason?
Well, I mean, I got the goosebumps tonight, you know, just watching our team for the first time without Coach Lemonis break down in shallow left field. That was a player-led meeting out there where it's usually Coach Lemonis leading it. And I kind of was in the dugout just watching and got goosebumps when they broke that huddle, watching our fan base come to its feet. And it just, that's the kind of passion that we need. You know, these kids are wonderful kids. They work incredibly hard. They feel responsible for the position that we're in, and nobody's going to play harder this next month than they will. I can assure you that.